Thanks to COVID, there's now a realisation that delivering broadband to every home in Ireland has the potential to transform our economy, and nowhere more so than in rural Ireland. We've witnessed a spike in local house prices as tech jobs relocated from the Dublin docks to rural townlands. But this has happened by default, not by design, and it's now time to act in a strategic manner to bring foreign direct investment jobs into every village in Ireland.
Thank you, Deputy. As you know, digital infrastructure is one of the 4 dimensions of the Government's National Digital Strategy, which was launched in February of this year. A progress report on the cross-governmental implementation of the National Digital Strategy was published last week. I encourage all deputies to consider it. As Deputy Naughten will be aware, responsibility for connectivity and the National Broadband Plan lies with the Minister for the Environment, Climate and Communications. I agree with him, though, that it is clear that a robust broadband infrastructure will be vital in reaching our national digital strategy targets, which will enable businesses to take advantage of digital technologies and increase sustainable employment. Just last week, the Department of Environment, Climate and Communications published its digital connectivity strategy, which sets out the targets that will be achieved by the telecom sector in providing digital connectivity across the state. It also identifies the key enablers that will be implemented to ensure these targets are met. As outlined in the White Paper on Enterprise, also published last week, sustained investment in digital infrastructure, including connectivity and cyber security, provides the foundations for a digital economy. As we said at the launch of the White Paper, it's about getting good jobs for people and getting those jobs and investment opportunities to all parts of the country. It's clear that connectivity will be vital in achieving progress in the targets for our own department, namely 75% enterprise take-up of cloud, big data and AI by 2030, and 90% of SMEs at a basic level of digital intensity by 2030. We now have 9 regional enterprise plans in place, which will encourage collaboration amongst all the stakeholders to strengthen the regional offering for enterprise and therefore create an environment for successful economic growth, sustainable employment and development across the country. Digital connectivity will be a key enabler of this regional economy.
Minister, thank you for your reply. And look, the reality is the state is putting a huge amount of investment into building communications infrastructure right across this country. And by the middle of next year, 58% of households in Ireland will have access to a pure fibre connection. But the difficulty is, Minister, we now need to exploit that investment to bring high-value jobs into every single community in Ireland. Now, this has happened by default during COVID, and as we know, the IDA is now redoubling efforts to try and bring those jobs back into the city centres rather than trying to disperse them across provincial Ireland. And my question to you is, what is the specific strategy, job strategy, that is now in place to try and drive some of these FDI jobs into rural communities?
I can assure the Deputy the IDA is not involved in driving jobs back into any city centre. One of the key targets laid out in the White Paper is that over half of new investments will go into the regions. That figure has been achieved in the IDA 2022 figures. Our department and the Department of Rural and Community Development are developing the National Hub Strategy 23 to 25. The purpose of this strategy is to bring together in a single document the various national policies and schemes into a coherent and overarching development strategy to leverage the National Hub Network that is funded through Minister Humphreys and the Department of Rural Affairs as a public asset of significance and scale. I think IDA, Enterprise Ireland and Luther Us, through the development of their GTEC centres, are promoting and enabling the uptake of remote working access in the regions and in the most far-flung parts of the regions. And we intend to continue to support the development of a hub space and the rollout of the National Broadband Plan to ensure remote working is available to those that want it.
Minister, look, we can play around with words all we like, and yes, 50% of the jobs are outside Dublin, but there's very few of those jobs outside of the cities. And if we're going to get a proper regional spread, it has to be outside centres like Galway. And you know, in our own region, that's where all of the jobs are presently going. Now, Minister, my question to you is, we've spent a huge amount of public money on broadband infrastructure. We've spent a huge amount of public money, which has been allocated at the moment in terms of urban and rural generation, to make our towns and rural communities nice places to live. We have a unique opportunity to attract multinational investment into every single village in Ireland. No other country in the world can do it, and we need to market that and market it properly.
We have outlined the National Hub Strategy, which I presume is what you're talking about, to enable remote working and employees work in remote areas. We also secured up to 145 million from the ERDF to fund the regional enterprise plans. Minister English and I are engaged with regional enterprise across the country to ensure that we get the kind of development you're looking at. And there's 3.5 million in priming funding and feasibility announced for 47 projects across all regions, including in Galway, Mayo and in Roscommon. And I'm more than happy to engage with you on the West Plan to assist the kind of projects and the kind of employment creation you're speaking about.